So thank you very much for joining me for this webinar aimed at those interested in transitioning from the classroom into the world of data analytics consultancy. So before I get started, I just wanted to take a moment to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about my own background. So my name is Stephanie Lightbody and I am a recruitment specialist for the data school at the Information Lab. So prior to joining the Information Lab in 2023, I worked within the education sector. So firstly, as a teacher of French and German in secondary schools in and around the London area, and then in HR and recruitment related roles. Now at the Information Lab, my role is to recruit for the data school in London, and my primary responsibilities include supporting candidates and potential candidates through our somewhat unique application process. So from them submitting their initial applications to us, right through to the final interview stage. So I'm going to start just by giving you a brief intro into who we are and what we do at the Information Lab and the Data School. I'm then going to talk about our unique application process and share with you what it is that we ask our candidates to do in order to apply to join us. I'll then touch upon placements before finishing with why it is that we are particularly interested in recruiting teachers and former teachers. So the Information Lab was founded in 2010 by Tom Brown. Now, Tom wanted to establish a company to respond to the need for people and businesses to get more out of their data. And in 2015, the Data School was established as essentially the training arm of the Information Lab, and it's where we train people to become expert data analytics consultants. Now, at the Data School, we offer a 28-month fixed-term contract of employment. For the first 4 months of that contract, our consultants are all in training. Now, this training all takes place in person at our offices in central London, and we're right by St Paul's Cathedral. In the training period, we cover a number of different things, including Tableau, Alteryx, Power BI, and SQL. And we also focus on developing your softer skills within the first 4 months as well. The training is all delivered in-house by our coaching team, a number of whom are Alteryx aces and Tableau visionaries, meaning that they are some of the best in the world. Following on from the 4 month training period, our consultants go on to complete 24 months worth of placements with some of our clients. And I'll go on to talk about these placements in a little bit more detail later on in the webinar. You can also see on the screen here some of the benefits that we offer to our consultants at the Data School, as well as some information regarding future prospects. It's important to note that with regard to salary, our consultants are paid from day one of their contract, meaning that they are also paid whilst they are in that 4 month initial training period. So the starting salary is £35,000 per year, and this increases to £40,000 per year for the final 12 months of that 28-month fixed term contract. So since it was founded in 2010, the Information Lab and also the Data School have continued to grow internationally. And we have a number of offices across the world. And you can see there that the Data School also exists in a number of other locations, including Hamburg in Germany and also New York in the US. And although we have continued to grow over the years and as a company, our values have very much remained the same and at the heart of everything that we do. We are a very community-led, people-oriented organization. And the one thing that all of our consultants at the data school have in common is that passion and that love of data and that desire to help organizations make sense of their data more efficiently. We're also very much committed to diversity, and we're an inclusive company that fosters a collaborative and supportive learning environment. We're also well on our way to achieving a 50-50 gender split, which is within the tech industry quite an achievement and something we're incredibly proud of. Our application process also enables us to foster this diverse culture as we are agnostic to work or academic backgrounds. And we also accept applications from career changers and recent grads alike. So we don't mind what it is that you have done prior to joining us at the data school. What we're interested in is the skills that you possess. And just to highlight and showcase some of that diversity, you can see here a very small number of some of the consultants that have previously worked and been through the data school training program. So some of these consultants were previously doctors, journalists, actors, indeed teachers. Some had been to university, some had obtained bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, PhDs, whereas others had perhaps not been to university at all. But the main point here is that everyone is welcome to apply to join the data school, and we encourage applications from people from all backgrounds. So I'm just going to go on now to talk a little bit about data visualization itself. So what is data visualization? So data visualization can be defined as being the graphical representation of information and data. And by using things like charts, graphs, maps, data visualization allows us to present data in a more accessible way and enables people to be able to recognize trends, outliers, and patterns in data all more efficiently. So just to give you a very simple example of the power of data visualization, you can see here on the screen a table with a lot of different numbers in it. Now, if I were to ask you what the most negative number within that table was, it wouldn't be immediately obvious. If I were then to apply colour and use the colour red to highlight all of those negative numbers, it becomes a little bit easier. And then if I were to go one step further still and add some bars, you can see very clearly the most negative number in that table is the negative $43,000. Now, I've mentioned Tableau already. Tableau is one of the tools that we specialise in at the data school and have done since we started. And Tableau itself is a data visualization tool, and it's where you can put together your graphs, your charts, your maps, and use them in a dashboard in order to present your data in a more visually appealing and accessible way. And you can see a range of different examples up there on the screen of dashboards of charts that have been produced all using Tableau. Now, the reason we love Tableau, the reason why a lot of our clients choose to use Tableau is because of just how user-friendly it is. It's incredibly intuitive. There's a lot of drag and drop involved, and it's relatively easy to pick up. And you don't necessarily need to be able to code in order to be able to use Tableau successfully. Now, the other tools that I've also mentioned are Power BI. Power BI is essentially Microsoft's version of Tableau and is another data visualization tool that we specialize in. And we also use Alteryx. Now, Alteryx differs slightly in that it is more of a data preparation tool that you might use to prepare and clean your data prior to using it in either Tableau or Power BI. So you might be wondering now whether or not you need to be a coder in order to apply to join the data school. And the short answer to that is no. So if we're not looking for people with coding backgrounds, with coding expertise, what is it that we are looking for? So you can see here a number of different skills and attributes that we're looking for within our candidates and our data school consultants. And although you don't necessarily have to have a stats qualification, we're looking for people who are numerate and who are comfortable working with numbers. We're also looking for people who share our love of learning, who are always wanting to continue to develop their skills in a variety of different areas. Feedback is a big one, and it's something that we assess within our application process. As a data analytics consultant, you will obtain feedback from clients all of the time, and it's important that our consultants are able to respond to that feedback appropriately. We're also looking for consultants with strong time management skills, people who are comfortable presenters, and that's something that you get lots of practice at within the training period. We're looking for good communicators, problem solvers, and people from a range of interesting backgrounds. And what can we offer you in return? We offer you a structured and professional training program that is paid and that enables you to develop the skills to become an expert data analytics consultant. We're also able to offer you the opportunity to engage with a diverse and global data network, and also to work with a number of different and well-known companies across a range of different industries. We're able to give you a head start into a career in data, help you to develop not only your technical skills, but also your soft skills, such as your presentation and project management skills. In some instances, there's also the opportunity to travel, and we're able to offer you a unique, supportive, and collaborative working environment. In terms of benefits, then I've already spoken about the salary. So the starting salary is £35,000 per year, and this increases to £40,000 per year in the final 12 months of that 28-month contract. All of our consultants are also entitled to 25 days of annual leave each year, in addition to bank holidays, matched pension contributions, the technology that you need to fulfill your role, lots of personal and professional development opportunities, expert coaching whilst in training, but also beyond that. We also have a dedicated support team whose role it is to support our consultants whilst out on placement, perhaps from a technical perspective, in terms of how to manage their clients, and also from a well-being side of things as well. And we also offer some fantastic opportunities to partake in some social events. So just to give you some examples of these, so every week in our offices we have yoga classes, HIIT classes, boxing classes. There are also a number of other events that take place depending on what our current consultants are interested in. So for example, there is a crafting group, a board games club. We also have a supper club that goes out to a different restaurant every month to try new cuisine. We also do regular bake-off competitions. We've got a society essentially that is focused on women and women in data. So there's a huge range of different things that you can get involved in from a social perspective as well. When you join the data school, you're also allocated a buddy and a mentor. And you're also assigned to what we call a pod. Now, a pod contains other consultants across the business, as well as other employees who are part of our core team or our permanent team. So it gives you the opportunity to get to know people outside of your cohort and across the wider company. In terms of future prospects, then, at the end of the contract, we typically see our consultants go one of three ways. So there may be the option to apply to join the information lab um, in a permanent role, so become part of our core team should a vacancy arise. And we always offer those vacancies out internally in the first instance and try to fill them from within. It could be, and this is something that we see very frequently, it could be that you are offered a role with one of the clients with whom you've been placed whilst working at the information lab. Alternatively, you could simply choose to go your own way and to find your own role, and this is something that we support you with as best we can too. So between each of the four placements, you have something called, or our consultants have something called a back to school week. And this is where they come back together with their cohort, discuss how their placement has gone, have the opportunity to upskill. And in that final back to school week between placements 3 and 4, our consultants use this as an opportunity to develop their skills um, to help them go on to find future employment. We've also got an ever-growing alumni network who will often come back to us, let us know about a vacancy within their team, and ask us for support in advertising that vacancy to our consultants who are coming to the end of their contracts. So we help you as much as we can in terms of helping you to find future employment. And we very rarely, if not ever, see our consultants struggle to find a future job. You don't have to take our word for it. Tableau Alteryx skills are always in huge demand. Um, so, like I say, we don't often see candidates struggle to find a future role. So, moving on then to talk about our recruitment process, our application process. So, as I've already mentioned, our application process is unique and it's likely different to be, and it's likely to be different to any other recruitment process or application process that you've been through before. So, although candidates are able and given the option to submit a CV as part of their application, it's not something we necessarily look at or suddenly use to inform our decision in terms of which candidates to progress. So instead, what we do is we ask our candidates to familiarize themselves with Tableau, the data visualization tool, and to put together a dashboard using Tableau that they then submit to us to review. And you can see here just an overview of our application process. And I'm going to go through each of these steps in a bit more detail just to give you a better understanding of what it is that we are looking for our candidates to do when they are applying to join us. So the first thing that you'll need to do is join Tableau. So you'll need to create an account on Tableau Public, and the link to that site has been shared on the screen and you can see now. You'll then need to either download Tableau Desktop or the Tableau Public app. Now, the Tableau Public app is entirely free to use, and you do not need to at any point pay to use Tableau for the purpose of your application. There are very few limitations now between the Tableau Public app and Tableau Desktop, so it should be more than sufficient for you to use this to complete your application, to produce your application dashboard. It's also worth joining the forums on the Tableau website. And if you're struggling with something in particular in the first instance, this is a great place to look or a great place to seek help. The Tableau website also has a number of videos to help get you started, and I'd really recommend checking these out as well if Tableau is something you haven't used before or you are unfamiliar with. So once you have created an account on Tableau, you've downloaded the Tableau public app. The next thing that we would advise you to do is to find some inspiration and to get a better idea of the type of thing that we're looking for in terms of an application dashboard. Now, the data school is getting increasingly competitive, but you can see and get some ideas and some inspiration and benchmark your own application by checking out the successful applications page on our website. And it's on our successful applications page on our website that you'll be able to see all of the previous applications submitted by our now successful data analytics consultants at the Data School. It's also worth checking out Tableau Public itself, and also the Visit of the Day section on the Tableau Public website to get some inspiration in terms of perhaps a dashboard that you would like to produce or a data set you would like to work with. You can also, for the most part, download other people's dashboards, reverse engineer them, um, have a look at what it is that they have done to produce something, if there's something that you like in particular, and have a go at creating it for yourself. The other tip that we would give you is to practice your Tableau skills before submitting an application, and this can take a little bit of time. But have a go at making some other vizzes before you create your application dashboard. And I'd really encourage you to take part in and check out Makeover Monday or Back to Viz Basics. So these are community initiatives that allow you to practice your Tableau skills and to keep working on those. So these are links here that you will be able to have access to check those out. So once you have gained access to Tableau, once you've taken a look through what other people have done using Tableau, the next thing that you'll want to do is to choose your data. So you'll need to decide which data set you want to use as the basis of your dashboard. This is not something that you need to create yourself, so you are able to use any data set that is available to you in the public domain. However, there are a couple of things that we would advise you to avoid. So Tableau comes with its own data set, so the Superstore data set. This is a great data set to be using to practice and to help you find your feet with Tableau. However, please do not use this data set to create your application dashboard. I'd also advise you to steer clear of other fictional data sets and similarly more generic HR and sales related data sets. What we would generally advise you to do is to choose a data set on a topic you are personally interested in. You're more likely to get a better result if you do. And as I've said, this can be on any topic you like. This can be on anything that you are interested in, whether that be music related, TV related, sport related, politics related, whatever you are interested in. Go away, find a data set on that topic and produce your application dashboard using that data set. There are a huge number of places you can look to find a data set, and there's some examples of some websites up there on the screen that you might wish to look at in the first instance in terms of helping you to obtain a data set. But as I've mentioned, main thing is to choose a data set on a topic you're personally interested in. And again, you can look back through those successful applications on our website to get some inspiration in terms of topics and data sets and see what other people have chosen for topics before. And you can also check out the Tableau public gallery to see what other people have done with similar topics and data sets as well. So once you've found your data set, you'll need to put together your viz or your dashboard. So as I've already mentioned, make sure you're ready to apply. Don't just apply with the first thing you create. Make sure you've got some practice in beforehand. Make sure that you spent some time putting together your dashboard. Make sure you've got some feedback from family or friends and before submitting to us. Really spend some time um, working on your initial application dashboard and making sure that you're happy with it before you submit it to us. Build up your portfolio on Tableau Public. Um, so when you join Tableau Public, you'll have your own profile, and this is where you can save and upload all of your dashboards. So if you are, and I again encourage you to take part in things like Makeover Monday and Back to Viz Basics, upload those dashboards to your Tableau Public profile. Um, not only to build up your own portfolio, but also to help you see how much you're progressing and how much you have progressed since you first picked up Tableau to where you are now. Try to learn something new. There are a huge number of online resources available to you to help you pick up and develop your Tableau skills. We don't expect you to be an expert, but show us that you have made an effort. So once you have put together your dashboard, you'll need to upload it to your Tableau public profile. And the next thing that you'll want to do is then submit it to us. So when it comes to applying to join us, you will need to submit an application through our website. And when you do that, you will come across a space where you'll be asked to share the link to your dashboard on your Tableau public profile. Again, you can upload a CV, but it's not obligatory and we don't use them to decide who gets the job. And there's also the opportunity to tell us a little bit about yourself in your application. So if there's anything interesting that you think would be good for us to know about you. So we recruit for the data school on a rolling basis, meaning that there are no hard deadlines. This means that you can take as much or as little time as you need working on your application. However, do just bear in mind that it might impact the cohort and that you end up joining and ultimately your start date with us. So we recruit a number of cohorts throughout the year. So there's always the opportunity to apply to join us. In 2026, we're looking to have cohorts start with us in January, February, and March, May, June, and July, and then September, October, and November. So next year, we are aiming to have 9 cohorts join us at the data school. So, as I've said, there's always plenty of opportunity to apply to join us. And typically, a cohort consists of around 6 to 8 consultants. When you do apply to join us, you are prompted to select your preferred cohort, so your preferred start date. However, there is flexibility with this. And like I say, if you choose to spend perhaps a little bit longer on your application, then it might mean that you end up choosing another future cohort instead of your preferred cohort. So once you've submitted your application to us through our website, again, make sure you include that link to your Tableau dashboard on Tableau Public. That will come through to either myself or my colleague Luke. And we'll take a look at your dashboard, we'll review your dashboard, and we will provide you with normally a couple of rounds of written feedback to your dashboard and give you a chance to respond to that feedback. As I've mentioned already, part of this is almost to mimic the role. So as a consultant, you're going to be getting feedback from clients all the time, and we want to see how you respond to that feedback. We're also wanting to give you the opportunity to upskill, to improve your Tableau skills. And and to also make improvements, amendments to your dashboard to give you a better chance of succeeding in the process. If once you've responded to our feedback, your dashboard is to a high enough standard, we will put you through to a 30-minute video interview with one of our coaches. Now, within this video interview, you'll be given 5 minutes to present your dashboard and to talk the coach through your insights. Really think about and consider your analysis here. We're really wanting to see your analytical side throughout the application process. So make sure you're telling us not only what your charts are showing, but also why your data might be presenting in the way that it is. So we're not only looking for good looking dashboards, but we're also looking for your dashboards to demonstrate to us your analytical skill and to show us depth of analysis as well. One thing that you'll be familiar with is ensuring that your analysis, that your dashboard is accessible to everybody, a range of different audiences. Keep it simple, easy to understand. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't feel as though you need to include every different chart type in your dashboard. Make sure you're using the right chart type for the data that it is you are presenting. If you're successful at the video interview stage, then what we'll do is we'll invite you to attend a final in-person interview with us. And as I've mentioned, these are in person and they will normally take place at our offices in central London. We hold final interviews typically every month. And about 10 days prior to that final interview taking place, we send out a data set, so a data set that we've chosen this time, to all candidates through to that round of final interviews. And we ask you to put together a new dashboard using our data set. At the same time, so again, around 10 days prior to the interview taking place, we will buddy you up with one of our current data school consultants who will be able to offer you feedback on your dashboard whilst you are in the process of putting it together and prior to you attending the interview with us. And it's well worth using that resource. They're also, of course, happy to answer any questions that you may have about their experience or the role. In terms of the final interview dashboard, so the dashboard that we ask you to put together for the purpose of the final interview itself, make sure you study previous successful applications even more closely. You'll be able to see the previous dashboards that have been produced for final interviews on that successful applications page on our website. Make sure you're taking into account visual best practices. And again, make sure you're showing us your analytical side. Try to find a story within your data set. So try to find more of a focus within your data set that you're then able to present to us through your charts and analysis. Although overview dashboards are fine and good, we'd very much rather you almost find a thread and then pull at that thread just to show us more of your depth of analysis. Also think about your design skills and the format of what it is that you're showing. Um, and try to show us your visual communication skills. The communication skills are essential in this role. But try to show us your visual communication skills as well. Try to share your story with us, share your insights with us, not only through your presentation, not only within your blocks of text, but also through your charts. Get your charts to do the talking for you. Include some interactivity and also some instructions in order to guide the user in terms of how you want them to interact with your dashboard. Within the final interview, we will again give you 5 minutes to present your dashboard, and we will also um, follow up with some feedback on your dashboard in person. and then some more standard interview questions related to the consultancy side of the role. So again, just an overview there of the application process. So first steps are to join Tableau, download the Tableau public app, find some inspiration, particularly using the successful applications page on our website to help you benchmark your own application and to get some ideas. Um, and again, the Tableau public website where you can download, reverse engineer other people's dashboards for practice. Find your data set, choose a data set on a topic you are personally interested in. Create your dashboard, share it with us when you apply through the application form on our website. Then, if you're successful at that stage, you respond to our feedback well and your dashboard is good, then we'll put you through to a 30-minute video call with one of our coaches. And if successful at that stage, then you'll be invited to attend that in-person final interview with us, where we'll provide the data set and give you around 10 days to produce a new dashboard before coming in to us and meeting us in person for that final interview. So just some general hints then on our application process. So your CV is optional. Um, Again, you are given the option to submit it to us when you submit your application form, but it's not compulsory. What we're wanting to see instead of those skills that we're looking for in our data analytics consultants, that willingness to learn those technical skills, those analytical skills, um, people who are curious, who are keen problem solvers, who communicate really well. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're good at. Have you done something amazing that you want to share with us? Something to make your application stand out? Again, there is a huge range of resources available online to help get you started with Tableau and to help you develop your skills further. A simple Google search is often the best starting point. So if there's something you want to do in Tableau and you're not sure how to do it, pop it into Google. There'll be plenty that comes up to help you out. Read more around the subject of visual analytics to develop your understanding of data visualization best practices. Take part in community projects like Makeover Monday and Back to Basics to get yourself on our radar, to also help you develop your Tableau public portfolio, and to get that practice in as well before you submit your application to us. Get involved with social media, particularly LinkedIn. You're welcome to share your application, your dashboard with the wider Tableau community before sharing it with us to get some extra feedback. Now, I've mentioned that there are loads and loads of resources out there to help get you started and to help you to continue your Tableau skills. So we have our own training videos that we have put together to help get you started. Tableau has its own training videos to help you with your Tableau skills. There are also a huge number of YouTube channels dedicated to helping people upskill in Tableau. So we have our own. Andy Kriebels is also well worth checking out. Alex the Analyst and Tableau Tim are just a few of our recommendations. Chances are, if you put something into Google about Tableau, you'll be recommended one of our blog posts. Do spend some time looking through our blog posts. There's also a search function on there. So if there's something again you want to know a little bit more about, so say you want to know how to use color more effectively in Tableau, if you search color within our blogs page on our website, there'll be an array of different articles available to you. And you can also get an understanding through those blog posts a little bit more about what it's like to work at the data school um, as both a trainee within the training period and also whilst out on placement. So it's really worth spending some time reading through those, checking those out. And you can also get some more insights and tips from our consultants on the application process. So some really great books on data visualization best practice available on Amazon. And again, so Makeover Monday, Back to Basics, and Tableau Public are all well worth checking out. So moving on now to look at placements. So as I've already mentioned, once you complete the 4-month training period, you will then go on to complete 24 months worth of placements. So these placements normally last between 6 and 12 months. So it might be that you have placements with 4 different clients whilst you're with us, or 2 or 3 different clients whilst you're with us. So it does vary. But the idea is that you'll be on placement um, whilst for the final 24 months of the contract. Um, and we do aim to give you a range of different placements. So our clients cover a huge range of different industries, and you can see some examples of the clients that we work with up there on the screen now. The majority of our clients are London-based, so you would need to be able to um, live within commutable distance to London, and they can be either hybrid, remote, or in person. But the expectation is that you should be able, willing to attend the client's office 5 days a week if that is required of you. But like I say, it can vary depending on the working practices of that client. Whilst you're on placement, if you are not working from the client's office, then you can work from home. Alternatively, quite a large number of our consultants do choose to come and work from our data school offices whilst they are on placement if they are not required to work in their own client's office for that time. But like I say, do be prepared to be working in person in the client's office whilst on placement. When it comes to us matching up our consultants and our clients, there is a lot that we take into consideration. So we do look at whether or not you have any preferences, whether or not there are any industries that you're particularly interested in working in. Um, we also look at your experience level. So we'll take into account whether or not you are going into your very first placement or if you're going into your fourth and final placement and have a bit more experience already. We'll also look at your skill set. So whether perhaps you are more suited for Alteryx or Tableau. Um, And we'll also take into consideration location. As I mentioned, the majority of our placements are based in and around London. If for whatever reason we had a client based further afield, then it is a discussion that we'll have with you about whether or not it's something you would be happy with and willing to do. Of course, when it comes to placements and our clients, it's also entirely dependent on which clients we have available at the time. So that is something also to bear in mind and to take into consideration. But as I mentioned, we work with a huge range of different clients covering a huge range of different sectors. And the idea is to give you as much exposure as possible to different companies, industries, working environments. And it's a really great opportunity for you to develop an understanding for yourself of what sort of environment it is that you like to work in. But what do our consultants actually do whilst on placement? Now, no 2 placements are ever the same. It could be that you are supplementing a BI team or reporting department. You could be bringing new data viz expertise to a project. You could be growing Tableau and self-service analytics adoption. But what we won't ask you to do, so we won't ask you to run a BI team or a bid project on your own. So we're just coming to the end of the webinar now. And I just wanted to finish off just by, um, I suppose, explaining why we love teachers so much and what it is that we seeing teachers that we think is invaluable to becoming a successful data analytics consultant. So teachers already have a vast amount of experience working with and analysing data, whether that be data that has been collected through assessments, classroom observations, or other interactions with students. As teachers, you also have a really good understanding of the importance of data and using this to inform future practice and decisions. This is something we are looking for within our consultants who may be required to use an organization's data to contribute to the wider business strategy. Similarly, as teachers, I know that you'll also have accumulated a huge range of transferable skills that, again, that we're looking for within our consultants. So we're looking for a balance between strong analytical and technical skills and strong soft skills. So as a consultant, just to give you an example, you may be required to communicate sometimes quite difficult, quite complex ideas and concepts to people at all levels and across the business. And therefore, being able to make information accessible to everyone is something that is key to success. And this is a concept as teachers that you'll already be very familiar with. We're equally looking for people who are confident presenters, who are comfortable standing up in front of a group of people and delivering presentations. And as a consultant, you may also be required to share your knowledge and upskill others in Tableau, Alteryx, and data visualization best practices more generally. We've also seen a number of former teachers successfully join and go through the data school. And as you can see from the screen, these teachers have varying degrees of experience within the education sector, but have all seen huge amounts of success within the data school. So we're really confident in the skills that teachers already possess, and we're confident that these are the skills that we are looking for and need within our consultants. So if it is something that you feel you are interested in, would like to find out more about, then please do get in touch with us. And please do look into the opportunity further. It's a really, really great opportunity for people, as I've mentioned, from a range of different backgrounds, particularly for career changers, to get started in the field of data analytics consulting. And like I say, career changers are a demographic that we are really interested in recruiting. If you do have any questions or if you would just like to get in touch, then please do reach out to either myself or my colleague Luke. So Luke is Global Head of Recruitment for the Data School, and you can see there our email addresses up on the screen as well as the links to our LinkedIn portfolios profiles. So please do reach out and get in touch. We are a friendly bunch, we're a welcoming bunch at the data school, so please don't be afraid to get in touch with any questions or if you want any further information about anything else. All of our current and past data school consultants also have a profile on our data school website. So if you want to find out any more about them or get in touch with them or connect with them, particularly if they're also from an education background, then feel free to connect with them and drop them a message on LinkedIn. We also frequently hold in-person meet and greet events at our offices. Keep an eye on our website for upcoming meet and greet events. You'll be able to sign up through our website as well. But it's a really great opportunity for you to come and visit us in person, see a little bit more what it is that we do and what we're about. You'll also get a Tableau demo, Alteryx demo, and the opportunity to network with some of our amazing consultants. So feel free to sign up for one of those upcoming events. But like I say, just keep an eye out on our website for those. But otherwise, thank you very much for joining this webinar, and feel free to get in touch if you do have any questions. We are always more than happy to help.